While staying with Syria, and US Secretary of State John Kerry will host the next round of talks on the crisis in New York later on Friday. This is a continuation of the Vienna talks held earlier this year. Friday's meeting is expected to clarify whether or not Russia will accept the unified Syrian opposition group that formed in the Saudi Arabia talks 2 weeks ago. Well, we're joined now by Monzer Akbik, a member of the Syrian National Coalition and former spokesman at the 2014 SNC Geneva talks. Thank you for your time. I want to start by asking you, what's your reaction to the fact that these talks are taking place in New York without any Syrian opposition being represented?
Because this is the continuation of the talks that took place in Vienna last November, where the countries, about 20 countries, they met, and this is another round of those talks. At that time also, both sides of the Syrian conflict, whether it's the regime or the opposition, were not there on those talks. So this is basically international conference without Syrian participation, aiming for continuation or relaunching of the Syrian talks in Geneva early next week.
There's disagreement amongst the sides in New York about who's recognized as legitimate opposition and who's classed as terrorists. Will all sides find common ground on this issue, do you think?
I don't think that the countries are completely in agreement about that particular matter. We know that the Security Council already labeled two factions as terrorists, al-Nusra and the Daesh. As for the other factions, there are still disagreements between the countries, and we don't know if they have agreed already on the list or not. I don't think so.
And there was a united opposition to Assad formed in Saudi Arabia a couple of weeks ago. Will Russia recognize that, do you think?
Well, I don't think they have much choice. You know that in Riyadh, everybody was there. The political opposition, both in diaspora and as well as the political opposition inside Syria, together with the armed factions, also all of them, they were represented there, or vast majority of them, together with also a large number of independent politicians also. So it was a wide array of people there, and I don't think that the Russians can really shed any doubt on the legitimacy of the opposition committee in Riyadh.
And the future of President Assad is another contentious issue. Do you think the sides are close to an agreement on this?
What I think they have agreed for so far is that they want to issue a Security Council resolution calling for ceasefire between opposition and the regime in Syria. I think that this is something that could be a positive. We want to reduce the bloodshed over there. They are going to agree also that the continuation or relaunching of the peace process, the one that started in Geneva 2 years ago, early 2016. Also, the continuation of confrontation with the terrorism. Now, regarding the outcome of that process, whether it's going to lead really to a successful end by power transition or political transition, the way Geneva says, in Syria, away from Assad, I think that this is something that is going to be long down the road. I mean, it's going to take a really long time in order for such an agreement, if there is an agreement of that, to be reached. I'm not very optimistic that it's going to be reached in a short time.
Okay, Monzer Akbik, thank you very much for your insight.